Hello everyone, this is Ross from Retro Dream Beam. I'm an eBay seller full-time. I've been doing this with my fiance Netta for more than 3 years now. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. So I'm about to go into what we were shipping out today on the weekend. But this weekend was like, I haven't seen like basically 50% of what we've like quantity-wise for years on eBay. And then the sales were like 20% of what we normally get for weekend, even for like the bad weekends. So like this one was like a disaster weekend. It does give us more time because this will take less time to pack, and then I get to organize and list more stuff. So I always try to look at the positive of stuff. If this kept going this way, the full-time numbers would be so tight that like if I had like a car bill, it would be over at that point. So it is a little stressful. I do expect there to be some kind of turnaround. There are a lot of ups and downs with eBay. There's a lot of stuff going on. My cat's going crazy. That's actually a bonus. But yeah, we're just gonna bonus for me in the sad sales today is what I meant. All right, we're just going to jump right into it. We'll see how the rest of the month goes. Anything can change. There can be like one day of really, really good sales that changes like the whole month. But this month in my head, up to this point, it's going to probably be the worst month this year, and it's not going to match last year's October. Not even close. All right, first up is Warhammer the Old Ways. This is going to be one of those like introduction or like little combat sheets right here. This would come in like a starter set. So I didn't know what this was at the time when I listed it, but then I ran into a buddy who's into Warhammer. And Warhammer, I believe the Old World is the fantasy game that they redid in 2023. So that's what this is from. They'll like post this stuff up on their website. It sells out. There's not that many people, I think, reselling it, he said, just because people are buying it and enjoying it and playing it. I think they're using the same molds that they had back in the day. So like if you get like an old high elf spearman, it's going to look the same as the new ones that they're making. So that was really cool information. I didn't know that at the time. I thought this was just something from like a magazine or something when I listed this, but this ended up going for $10.23 plus shipping. Everything's going to be plus shipping. It's a little like rule book folder. I think I misspoke about it. All right, I'm all over the place today. All right, moving along, we have American Science and Surplus magazine. This is from May 2007. This is a store that has a bunch of little cool gadgets and stuff. If you're into like electronics or just little tchotchkes or little experiments or crafts, all over the place. You walk in the store and they just have like a bunch of different stuff. So this is going to be one of the catalogs. We got a bunch of these catalogs with the fashion catalogs that did super well for us. We also got some like hunting ones, some gun ones, and then like stores and stuff like that. So these ones have done pretty well for us. This one ended up going for $15.99. All right. Next up, this was kind of a gamble I made at an auction, and afterwards I was like, oh, maybe I spent a little bit too much, but right now we got a good sale from it. So this was like a year ago, I think, maybe like 6 months. So this is gonna be Warhammer Fantasy. I think this is one of like the original packaging. This is gonna be undead skeletons right here. 2 of them. This was like in the original packaging. I just wanted to see what they would go for, so I outbid a couple of people that knew Warhammer stuff. I was just curious what their like cap was. I had a couple extra $100 for that auction at the time, so I was like, why not? I want to dig into some like fantasy sealed stuff. I do notice that at auctions or in general, a lot of people like Warhammer 40K and kind of anything else that's like the side products, like the fantasies, Age of Sigmar. I can't think of any of no, people like the Lord of the Rings ones now because I think they redid some of it. But usually people focus on 40K, and then I try to focus on the non-40K stuff. I've never played 40K, so I can't really compete in an auction with people that have the knowledge of it. I picked up a lot of these little original packets, probably between $16 to $22. This one ended up, I listed them high just to see what happened. Some of these, there was no listings on eBay or the person would have to do international, but this one sold for $65. So I don't think I'm in the positive money. I think I got 4 or 5 of them between 16 to 22, but that was cool. This is like a proof of concept of this, like people caring about this stuff and paying a little bit high up for that in its original blister pack. All right. Moving along, we have this puzzle right here. Got a lot of puzzles in 2020, 2021. They were super popular then. This is Florida and the island navigational chart. Super cool type of thing if someone likes puzzles and they also want to like take a look at all the different like facts and the geography of especially the oceans and stuff surrounding Florida. So I like doing puzzles, so this looks like a cool one. This one is complete. This sold for $17. But yeah, that was a moment. I was happy, or I was lucky to be in the moment when puzzles were popular, and then I was able to find them cheap. So just like one of those, the stars aligned, and I was able to get the good stuff at the time. So they've been going a lot slower since then. I still like picking them up. People still like them for holidays. I personally like doing puzzles. I'll occasionally do like 1 puzzle, maybe 2, maybe like, you know, once a year, basically on average. All right. Next up is going to be some 6 metal sci-fi miniature turrets. These just look like they're going to be mounted on something. They have like a little machine gun, all the little like holsters and stuff. I have no idea what game or what RPG or whatever these were for. They were just from like some bits and pieces I got. I listed them. I have to put in like measurements for people so they might know what game it goes for. They might be like modifying whatever miniature, might be BattleTech, who knows. But yeah, these end up going for $14, so just 6 of them. They're like a heavy metal, so they seem to be like an older one. I just put a bunch of sci-fi turret, weapon, vehicle, ship, RPG, 1/2 inch, basically everything that someone could look up for. I do okay with that, so I don't know if I said it, but those sold for 14. All right, moving along, we have 4 advanced squad leader. These mounted boards, I do pretty well with the mounted boards. These ones are 16 through 19. I think I listed these when I found a website, which I favorited, that showed me what boards came with what module or expansion box for this game. This is going to be like a military game. You pick a scenario. It tells you what map boards you need. You can also make your own and use these little hexes. You have a little army chit tokens. They're like these little like cheap cardboard pieces. People love Advanced Squad Leader. $20 for the set of 4 right here. And then next up, we got this manual only. This is going to be Ultima Underworld 2 Labyrinth of Worlds. Never played this one, but it has a bunch of like the main PC manual and a bunch in the back. This was at like an estate sale where there's a bunch of like boxes and like what they call junk in the back. And I said, can we like go through and look? And we ended up buying most of their stuff from the junk room. Did pretty well with it. End up selling this manual for $12. Someone's going to complete their PC game and appreciate it. All right. Next up, this item I'm pretty sure I potentially lost I lost money on. So this is going to be The Hills Rise Wild. It says west of Arkham. This is going to be like, when I saw this, I was like, oh, this is a pretty cool board game. So it's some kind of board game. It has these like little cardboard standees or like the paper ones that you fold over, and they kind of have like a Super Nintendo-ish look to them. They're not exactly pixelated. Let me see, double check. Oh, they kind of are pixelated. Watch out, Mindy, you're going to get in everyone's way. But yeah, I thought this game would do a lot better. Had never seen it before. I did some kind of deal where it's like, you know, buy a bunch of stuff, get like certain percentage off. Watch out, Mindy. All right, I think you're in the whole screen now. Watch out, excuse me. All right. She's normally not that abrasive when I'm doing the video. We were at Aneta's parents yesterday, so she gets anxious when we're gone. So the next day, she's attached to me like a dog. She's like just attached to my hip. She's like, you know, she was nervous that I was gone the whole day, so she missed me. So she is extra hanging out with me. All right, continuing on with this cool board game. It was like a buy 2 get 1 third off, but then the receipt wasn't itemized. So when I made a note, I sold this for 20, but I made a note that I sold it for bought it for $12 to $18 because they didn't itemize like which ones I got like the discounts and stuff on. It was kind of a disaster to figure out afterwards. So I just kind of like made a range where this would have been $12 if I got it for like half off, and then 18 if I didn't get the good price. So if I bought that for 18, 20 minus eBay fees, box, time, even if I don't count the time, it's already a loss. And at $12, even if I paid 12 for that, that's not, it's better than nothing. I'll take my $1 or $2. I will take it. I'm not too good for a couple bucks, honestly, especially with the low sales for the weekend. At least I get my money back. All right, moving along. We have Incomplete Star Wars Imperial Assault. This is going to be a game by Fantasy Flight Games. This is going to be one of the expansions. This is going to be, what was it, the Heart of the Empire. This has all of the cardboard tokens, like the tiles to make the scenarios. It has like the characters with extra their skills that you get in this game. It has the little sheets, missing like the box, the rule book, some of the I forget what they call them. I figured it out when I was listening, like the villain cards and stuff like that. But the main thing I think someone wants is the tiles, because you can look up like the rule books online and you can still play the scenarios. If you don't have villains, the base game comes with a bunch of villains. This is a game where someone plays the rebels as heroes, and then there's the Empire. It's like the Overlord. It's similar to the fantasy game. I played the Descent Journeys in the Dark, second edition, and then it's a semi-co-op where the players have to do like scenario objectives like this. This is like one of them. It's a sheet, and then the person gets to play like the Overlord. They get to use cards and stuff. They're fighting, and it's a dice game. A lot of fun. I'm not into the Star Wars realm, so I got the fantasy version of the game. But yeah, this Incomplete thing sold for $23.99. All right, moving along, we have this Matchbox car right here. This is going to be a Missouri State Police car right here. Got a bunch of police car, like diecast stuff a bit ago from a storage unit flipper. There you go. It's been a bit. Listed all of it almost within like a few weeks to make sure we got our money back. This ended up going for $6.79. Some of the police cars I put together, some of them I did separate. I just like to test different things and just see what happens. It looks like it's going to repeat buyer. All right, move along. We have some Dice Masters. This is going to be the Mighty Thor Part 2 set. This ended up getting to be 10 packets of these. Dice Masters is a game by WizKids where you have a deck of cards that are associated with some dice, and you're trying to get the other person's, I think, life point down to 0. You start at 20 or 30 or 25, something like that. It's been a long time since I played a little bit of it. But yeah, they come in packs, collectible packs. So you get, like I said, 2 dice, 2 cards. There's like super rares, regular ones by WizKids, and then they have Marvel themes and stuff. So this is just 10 of the Thor booster packs, and I'm going for $14.40. I have another set of 10, so went ahead and relisted it. All right, moving along, we have this right here. Got this a long time ago. I like to pick up like unique playing card decks, whatever ones stand out. I'm a little bit more picky with these days, but if I get them cheap, I'm okay with picking up most of them. This is going to be a playing card deck that's the Flags of the Civil War right here. I had 2 of these, and then there's also, I think, other than the plain deck of cards, there's also like a little rule sheet if you want to play some kind of game with it. Nothing too fancy. This one ended up going for $7. All right, next up, this listing is super old. We got a bunch of children books a long time ago. It was like one of probably our first big hauls, like month 1 of us doing like yard sales. Walt Disney, The Rescuers, Down Under right here, hardcover book. So we got a bunch of children's books. We spent like $24 for a bunch. I wouldn't do it again like today, these days. It was we made a good amount of money from it, but they're just like slow. And then, I don't know, just not a passion I have for it. I just thought I was excited because it was our first big bulk buy. So yeah, ended up going for $13.26. This didn't even have a label on it because we used to put stuff on our bookshelf before we had more stuff that fit on the bookshelf, if they make sense. That was like our only thing where we listed stuff on. So that bookshelf is still at the storage unit. I need to eventually swap it out with an actual shelf, but that's just where that lies right now. I'm waiting to find a cheap shelf. Has to be the right size at this point because our storage unit is tight. So $13.26. So still a good amount of money for a children's book. I need to clean up a little bit on the top. I don't think our picture was as good. All right, next up is more of the Advanced Squad Leader. I think it's the same person. They just didn't combine the stuff, so we'll have to combine the shipping for them, give them a refund. It's going to be numbers 10 through 14 right here. So it's 5 more of these. Same deal. These are just the boards that you use to make the scenarios. Also, the numbers are in the corner right here. This, like I said, these ones were 10 to 14. The earlier the number, the earlier in the base games that those come from. So like Advanced Squad Leader, like the whatever starter set probably has, I think it's 1 or 2 or 1, 2 or 3 like that. And then as the expansions went on, they added more boards for more scenarios, more combats, and the little mini wars and battles. So $30 for those ones. All right. Last up is going to be a German board game. I like to pick up the foreign board games, especially when they're complete. This is like Butter, something like that. I'm probably saying it wrong. It's German. Really cool art here. I've seen this Hans im Glück little company before, so I know I can tell what is a good quality company and stuff like that. Played a bunch of board games over 1,000, so sometimes you just visually know. But yeah, really cool cardboard pieces. Sorry, cardboard meeple pieces, wooden ones. No idea how this plays. It looks like some kind of bidding, or there's gonna be some cards and money and stuff over there. So people like to pick up this stuff all the time, the foreign stuff. I do increase my price on it because usually there's none listed. People don't want to deal with it. They don't want to count the pieces. They don't want to translate and figure out what it is. I did all of that when I listed that. It's been a bit ago, so I don't know too much about it right now. Probably a year or 2 ago. This ended up going for $25. So all right, that is everything, but there was also one other thing on Bonanza. So Netta has all of our stuff on Bonanza. This is going to be 123. I can't remember what edition. This is going to be Warhammer 40K, stat cards. There's some big ones, and then there's some smaller ones. There's some tokens. I want to say this is 2nd or 3rd edition. I got a big tub of basically cards, bits and pieces from this. I actually did it in a video long time ago on the YouTube. But yeah, I think these went for 14 or 15 bucks for the pack of 123. Most of our cards from that big box and lot that I listed end up selling. I think we have one thing left of some of the small orc stat cards. I think these are all the orcs. All right, so that was that. We also have a personal deal that we're working out still. But yeah, other than that, the sales are really low for the weekend. Like I said, less time to pack, more time to organize, and organize the room, to list stuff. So that's all I'm going to focus on. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel to help support us. Take a look at our links down below.